Let's take the time to look at another beautiful tree. And this morning, just doing some veg survey, I've been coming across some beautiful ones. So I'm in Illawong in the Sutherland Shire, but you can find these guys up and down the coast of New South Wales. Once again, I forget the range. I think they go down the coast to, might be sort of Bateman's Bay. I think they might go a bit further than that, and they push up, they well and truly push up into Queensland. This is a beautiful blackbutt, Eucalyptus pilularis. Easy to identify once you get to know them, and they get massive. They're a nice big eucalypt. It's not a problem for them to get to 50 metres, maybe more. You can find some big ones in Sydney. They get on the sandstone country and the shale, and if you get onto the blue gum high forest in those, what I call those ritzy northern suburbs of Sydney, Warunga, that area, you get big Sydney blue gums, Eucalyptus saligna, but you can also get big blackbutts growing with them, pilularis. They have no trouble getting big. The thing with a pilularis is you always get this sort of fibrous, big chunky plates at the bottom. And what it tends to do is go up the trunk until the first major branches come out. But I'm just showing you the bark here. It can vary a bit, but it's normally broad and platey like that. And then the strips are getting, or the chunks are getting a bit harder to pull off. And then if you go up, you can see that some parts look a bit messier than others. If you go up to where the first major branches come out, and a lot of the time they have big, genuine major branches, the bark then sort of, the chunky bark disappears and you get these beautiful cream coloured branches. They're normally a nice cream colour. So that's a really good identifiable feature. You might think they look a bit like piperita. That's sort of one you might think they look like a bit, but just look for the nice creamy branches and the bark going sort of to those branches, and it's a lot chunkier than something like piperita. Now the other thing with pilularis is it can get scribbles on the creamy branches. I'm trying to capture them there. I don't think I can because the sunlight's directly behind this tree. I'm just looking for some others, but pilularis is one tree that'll get scribbles on the branches. Now I've got the sun belting into my eyes. Hopefully you can see those there. Yeah, maybe just there now in the middle. So they do get scribbles. Where I've seen a lot of scribbles on them is places like Booty National Park up around Brisbane Water, McMaster's Beach. That's where I first noticed they had scribbles on them. So look for that as well. The thing about the canopy of pilularis, it's very green. It's a very green canopy. Remember, haven't made a separate piperita video, I don't think, but piperita, there's always a hint of blue to the foliage. They've got a good dash of blue in the foliage. Pilularis are very green. So when you look up at them, they're a little bit on the narrow side and they're very green in the sunlight. That's one feature of pilularis I sort of go for. And then we get onto the sort of more reliable stuff. Now, I haven't been able to find buds that are overly fresh, but that doesn't really matter. This is their typical appearance. There's a lot of sort of older dying ones on the ground. And this is their typical sort of appearance. You can see they're well and truly over 7. They're probably at the 15, 6, 9. Yeah, they're at about the 15 stage. They might even get in larger numbers than that. I just haven't looked up the detail, but they're well and truly over 7. So they're probably in that 11 to 15. interval, I guess, for the umbellasters. I'm just trying to count them. I think that one might be going over 15, but around 15 anyway. And these get dropped in pretty generous proportions. The buds are pretty easy to find a lot of the time. When I collect this species for workshops, and I can, you know, access the branches with a pole saw, which can be challenging sometimes. There's normally a lot of buds. I can normally find a fair few. I did have some more fresh ones, which I put on a rock somewhere, but it probably, here they are. I just put these on standby. Yeah, so there they are in a bit of a fresher stage. But yeah, just that pinched in short operculum. Can I get a bit of zoom going here? Yeah, that pinched in short operculum is really pointy there on the end. That's really typical pilularis. So just look out for those. And the final thing that nails it, which is probably going to be one of the easiest things for you, they've got these beautiful, genuine, big, what I call wine glass or brandy glass fruit. So these would be about at least a centimetre across. Sometimes they're a bit less, sometimes they're a bit smaller than what I'd like them to be, but in this site where I am now, there's some genuine big ones. So they're a beautiful brandy glass, wine glass. Someone once said to me, if you remember Faulty Towers, good old Faulty Towers, what Basil serves the major is brandy in, or his whiskey every night, you know, that sort of brandy glass. Yeah, that's a good description, or one of those old sort of red wine glasses you get in an old pub. There's some few more there. I think the valves are meant to be inserted, I think they might be rim level to inserted. You normally get 4 chambers in the bottom there. And again, these guys in my hand, they're well and surely, if you took the widest part, they're well and surely over a centimetre. Probably 10 to 12, something like that. You can, if you get a good stand of pilularis, you can find a chunk of fruit on the ground. You can normally find heaps, whether they're a street tree or whether they're growing along a bushland track. I'm in a little fragmented patch here, adjoining the water. You can normally get a lot of fruit, a bit like piperita. You can find a lot of fruit on the ground. So, tripping over here, wherever I go, there's just fruit everywhere. You can just easily find it. So this is really, you know, so reliable, along with the buds and just the appearance of the tree. You'll be able to, it's one you'll be able to lock in on really easily. Just those nice creamy branches, green leaves, the fibrous bark that always stops at the major branches. They've always got these really heavy major branches. They're meant to be a bit of a tough tree, but they do drop branches. They can drop some big branches. One of the things pilularis does is create really intense hollows. Well, yeah, wrong term, but genuine hollows, big genuine hollows, and parrots just love them and possums love them as well. They will almost always be hollow bearing. And just trying to look for some other ones. Yeah. But they have some of the, you know, the biggest genuine hollows I've sort of seen in a eucalypt, especially around Sydney. So probably very important for habitat. There's some sapling ones in this reserve as well. We've got some saplings here coming up. If you look at the seedlings, the last thing, if you look at the seedlings of pilularis, they have a very distinctive shape, appearance. The leaves of the seedlings are sort of, they've got a bit of a rubbery texture. and they're a lot paler on the underside. They're almost silver on the underside. They've got this sort of really pale, almost silvery colour, and then the top side is sort of a dark green. So you can tell them when they're seedlings as well. They're pretty distinctive, but I can't find any here at the moment. But hopefully that's enough for you for Eucalyptus pilularis.